Good afternoon. I'm Patty Derbyshire, Executive Associate Dean in the College of Pharmacy. Welcome to the 2024 White Coat Ceremony. It's great to see the large number of family, friends, faculty, and staff who are here to recognize the class of 2028, the 140th group to enter our pharmacy program. We have an outstanding number of people here today, with nearly 1,000 in attendance. So thank you for being here to support our students. Now, for those of you who have a hard time sitting still, I want you to know that we have 3 speakers today, and each of our 150 new students will be recognized individually, and I believe we can do that in about 1 hour. So let's get started. To begin our program, I'll ask Eric Barker, Jeannie and Jim Cheney, Dean of Pharmacy, to come to the stage and provide his welcome to the class.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of the faculty and staff of the Purdue College of Pharmacy, let me extend a very warm welcome to the family and friends that have gathered here for the 2024 College of Pharmacy White Coat Ceremony. I had a very special welcome to the 150 members of the Purdue College of Pharmacy Doctor of Pharmacy class of 2028 that sit before me. Now, the White Coat Ceremony is really designed to allow us to do 2 things. First, it's to allow us to celebrate you, to celebrate your accomplishments and hard work that have brought you to this place, to celebrate your admission into one of the very best colleges of pharmacy in the nation, a college with a rich tradition of graduating bold leaders that practice pharmacy at the highest level of excellence. Now, by my estimation, today is the first time that you, the class of 2028, have been together with all of your family and friends. And so this is a really momentous day for them as much as it is for you. And so I'm going to ask the Hall of Music folks to turn up the house lights real quick. Family and friends, get your cameras ready. The class is assembled right here to my right. I am going to ask the class to stand up, look at you, look up into the balcony, and let's congratulate these extraordinary student pharmacists. Okay, class, you may be seated. Now, the second thing that we're here to do today is to mark your transition from the ranks of an undergraduate program into a professional program, the profession of pharmacy. This White Coat Ceremony is the beginning of a transformation for you, and it means that things are going to be different for you going forward. And I'm going to comment just very briefly on what being different is going to mean. Now, the white coat sometimes gives off an air of all being the same, and at the end of this ceremony, we're going to have you all up on the stage, and we're going to take a group picture, and you'll look very uniform in your white coats. But this event is not about making you all the same. The white coat is really a symbol. It is a symbol of an outward sign of the beginning of an inward change that is going to happen in you, a transformation that will take your individual distinctiveness and begin to bring it to bear on the profession of pharmacy. That over the next 4 years, you will become different. You will have the opportunity to try new experiences, research, clinical experiences, industry, and leadership positions. This is what will allow you to ultimately achieve the highest level of practice. That's why this is so important. This change in you is so important to us. And this will be, we talk a lot around here about giant leaps. This is going to be your giant leap forward as a professional. The one thing that I want you to think about is developing a key habit that will enable this transformation in you, transformation into a healthcare professional. Now, a friend of mine always will talk about someone who is helping us. She'll talk about them having a heart to help. You're at a store or you're at a restaurant and the person who's assisting you may seem a little disinterested or put off that they're having to assist you, and she will look at them and say, they do not have a heart to help. So my question to you is, do you have a heart to help? The one thing I want you to think about is a simple question that can empower you to help others. A question that when you use it regularly helps develop in you the habit of helping others. When you think this question, when you say this question, it can develop in you a mindset that is engaging and transforming. When you embrace this one question, it facilitates your transformation into the kind of pharmacist that our faculty desire for you. The question to build into your habits is simply this: how can I help? How can I help? The power of this question centers on what it says to others and what it says about you. It says to others, I'm here for you. It's an outward-facing question that draws people in. It builds trust. And again, this is what our faculty want for you as you develop into a pharmacist, and why this question is so important to you. It's a simple question that impacts your mindset, builds a servant mindset. It disarms conflict. When this question becomes part of who you are, it makes you engaging and available. And isn't that the kind of person you want to be? And moreover, isn't that the kind of pharmacist you want to be? When a patient comes in and you lead with, how can I help? They know immediately that you are there to help them along their way. When they seem distressed or agitated and you say, how can I help? They don't feel alone, and the stress level begins to go down. When the person in charge, your boss, says, I need some help with this certain project, and you are the one that raises your hand and says, I will help with that, you are establishing yourself as a leader, someone who will accept new challenges, someone who is dependable and innovative. And when you take on those new responsibilities and do a great job, you will be so valued on your team, all because you've embraced the question, how can I help? My encouragement to you is to get into the habit of saying this question, how can I help? Saying it in your mind, and ultimately you're going to find yourself saying it out loud. How can I help? This mindset of how can I help reflects your commitment to the oath of a pharmacist. At the end of the ceremony, we're all going to say the oath of the pharmacist. And I want you to pay attention to one particular line. It says, I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. A lifetime of service. A lifetime simply saying, how can I help? This again is why this is so important for you, a heart to help, because it becomes a deeper part of who you are as a person and as a pharmacist. In all the roles that you'll take on in life, child, parent, partner, spouse, and of course, a member of the healthcare team, you will be someone that others can rely on to come to for help. Several years ago, my wife and I were living in Nashville, Tennessee, and I had been sent to a local bakery to pick up a cake for a retirement party for a party at the hospital pharmacy where my wife worked. An older gentleman brought the cake out, set it on the counter, and I was beginning to get ready to pay for the cake, and I saw out of the corner of my eye the cake slide off the counter into the floor on the back side. And I looked over, and he was laying on his back. And he looked like he was having a seizure. And I quickly came around the counter and yelled to the back, and a woman emerged who identified herself as his wife. And I said, "Does he have a history of seizures?" And she said, "No." And I said, I remembered the voice of my emergency medicine professor in my head echoing, "Activate EMS." So I said, "Call 911." And I began life support. Several minutes later, the EMTs arrived, and they ended up taking the man to the hospital. And ultimately, I was able to find out that he had survived, but he had had a massive heart attack, and he actually had severe head trauma from the fall when he fell. But he'd recovered and ultimately was released. About a year later, I went back to that same bakery, and I went in, again, to pick up a cake. And this older gentleman brought me a cake, and I kept looking at him going, is it him? If it was him, he had lost a lot of weight. I wasn't sure it was him. And then a woman emerged from the back who I immediately recognized as his wife. And I said to her, "Is this your husband?" And she looked a little puzzled, and she said, "Yes." And I looked at them, and I said, "You don't remember me, but I was here the day you had your heart attack." And they both looked at me, and tears began to well up in his eyes. And I'll never forget what he said. He looked at me and he said, "You are the pharmacist." In that moment of chaos, I apparently had identified myself as a pharmacist. All they knew at that time was that a pharmacist had been there that day. A pharmacist had helped. And really, all I was doing, what I had been trained to do and prepared to do, they thanked me, but I was ready to help. One day in a few short years, and believe me, these years in the Doctor of Pharmacy program here at Purdue are going to go by really, really quickly. But in a few years, you will be the pharmacist. You will be the pharmacist that patients and families and physicians and other healthcare professionals come to for help. And you won't just be any pharmacist, you will be a Purdue pharmacist, expected to be one of the very best, a bold leader practicing at the highest level together as part of an exemplary healthcare team. When you do this, when you embrace the change in you, the change that is coming in you, and embrace the idea of having a heart to help, you will be transformed. And when we have a chance to visit after you become an alum, I'm going to hear your story. I'm going to hear the story of how you were changed as part of the Purdue College of Pharmacy Doctor of Pharmacy program. I'll hear how you were changed into a pharmacist, a Purdue pharmacist. Welcome to the profession of pharmacy. Best of luck in your studies. Remember, today is a day to celebrate your success and celebrate your transformation into the profession of pharmacy and a commitment to embracing a heart to help. Congratulations, hail Purdue, and boiler up.
Thank you, Dean Barker. And now I'd like to recognize our corporate partner, Kroger. Kroger sponsors this event, including the white coats for our first professional year students. We are very grateful for your generosity. And I'd like to ask Stacy Doyle, Division Health Leader at Central Division, to say just a few words on behalf of Kroger. As Stacy comes forward, I also ask that the other Kroger representatives stand and be recognized.
Dean Barker, faculty, honored guests, friends and family, and students. Good afternoon, my name is Stacy Doyle, and I am the Division Health Leader for Kroger Health Central Division, which is mainly in Indiana and Illinois. I am honored to join you here today in this celebration of this big milestone in your career. Kroger Health is proud of our long-term association with Purdue University as a professional partner and as a proud sponsor of your white coat ceremony. As I look out over the rows of all the pharmacy students, I remember being in your shoes many years ago. Now, much has changed over the years, but one thing remains the same. It will go quickly. Before you know it, you will be back here for your hooding and graduation ceremonies. So enjoy these next few years and experience all that you can. Lean on those around you for support, your faculty, your preceptors, your classmates, and of course, your friends and family. Pharmacy is a profession that has expanded over the years and continues to evolve. There are numerous paths that you can take in your pharmacy career, from nuclear to research to hospital to community pharmacy and everything in between. We at Kroger Health believe in a collaborative practice model as seen by our team of pharmacists, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, and dietitians. Each provider is a valued member of their community, and you are too. We work together to help people live healthier lives, and I cannot think of more noble professions. To make a difference in another person's life, I believe you first need to make a difference in your own life. And in school, we often strive for perfection. Mastering the material is important, but what if instead of striving for perfection, we aimed for excellence? Excellence is not perfection. It's giving your all and being proud of your effort. It's doing the right thing when no one is looking, and it's staying true to yourself and your personal values. So on behalf of the 2,200 Kroger pharmacies and over 22,000 healthcare providers, congratulations on your acceptance into pharmacy school. Enjoy the journey into your profession. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Today's guest speaker is Dr. Sean Sullivan. Dr. Sullivan received his pharmacy degree at Oregon State University, his master's at the University of Texas, and a PhD in health economics and policy at the University of California, Berkeley in 1992. He is a professor at the University of Washington School of Pharmacy and holds a joint appointment with Health Services in the School of Public Health, as well as having an adjunct appointment in the School of Medicine and Public Health Sciences Division at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. From 2014 to 2022, Dr. Sullivan served as the Dean of the University of Washington School of Pharmacy. Dr. Sullivan has served his profession through a variety of roles and has received many accolades during his career. I encourage you to read his full bio in today's program. Please welcome Dr. Sean Sullivan.
Thank you, Patty, Dean Barker, and the Purdue faculty and staff for the invitation to speak to you all today. I'm really happy to be here. Class of 2028, good afternoon. You look great, amazing. How you feeling? Oh, come on. How are you feeling? Oh, you're a little down from yesterday, right? It was kind of a sad, I know. Settle down. And good afternoon to family and friends of the new students. What an exciting time it must be for you to be here too, to witness this ceremony, which is an acknowledgement of entry into the profession of pharmacy. Your support, your encouragement, I'm sure have helped these new professionals to where they are today. Finally, though, I want to acknowledge and recognize the incredible faculty that sit behind me here. As a former dean, I know how much each of them will contribute to the collective academic and career success of all the students that are sitting in this room. If you don't mind, though, I'd like to speak to the new student pharmacists for a second. Is that all right? Great. Today is a remarkable day. You have chosen a challenging and a rigorous journey as pharmacy students. You have worked hard to get to where you are now, and you should be very proud of the accomplishments that have led you to Indiana University. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what? Hold on. Something's not right here. Hold on. Damn. That was the speech that Chat GPT wrote for me. Let me get the real one. Okay, I got the real one now. Kidding. As a scientist, as an educator, I believe that stories are a powerful way to communicate. They help us understand complex topics. They allow us to connect with others. And importantly, they help us remember things. And so I'd like to share a story with you that might help you as you navigate these next 4 years, very quick 4 years, in the PharmD curriculum. The story that I've given a title is called Lessons from Unexpected Adversity. So think back to the summer of 2021. Summer of 21. Many of us were taking a very deep breath from a full year of dealing with the pandemic. Most of you seated here had just finished your first year of college, which I'm sure was extraordinarily challenging. I was feeling as dean cautiously hopeful. We at the University of Washington had just completed our first full year of educating students, mostly virtually. And as faculty and staff, we faced at that time significant educational challenges. The technology, the classrooms, how to prepare and deliver examinations. I'm sure this faculty can relate to that period, and you probably have some PTSD from that as well. I can imagine you all have your own stories about the 2020-2021 academic year. Shortly after that year, we were all due a bit of rest and recovery that summer. So just before summer break, I, as most people do about my age, underwent a series of routine screening tests to qualify for long-term care insurance. Many of us do that. I was, of course, worried about cholesterol, perhaps, maybe my glucose level, my blood pressure. I was certainly not worried about cancer. But there it was. A screening test for prostate cancer suggested that I might have it. You must know I have no medical conditions other than seasonal allergies and some exercise-induced asthma. My experiences with the real healthcare system were limited to annual checkups, visits to the pharmacy for vaccinations, colonoscopy here and there, a broken bone, casual stuff. But after this surprising diagnosis, I was faced with the daunting challenge of accessing our complex healthcare system as a real patient. I work inside a medical center. Our school is located at the other end of the hall from our hospital. I was able, fortunately, to get to doctors quickly, very quickly. A biopsy procedure was recommended, and I complied. By the way, I don't recommend it. 2 weeks after the biopsy, on my birthday, I received a text message, not from my doctor, not from the clinic, from the electronic health record. So it wasn't a human. It was the EHR. And the text said, your biopsy test results are ready. They're available online, just log in. That was on a Thursday. I remember it well. My wife and I were standing in front of our house when the text came in, just about to head off on a mountain bike ride, which is a real passion of ours that we've shared with Loretta and Dr. Barker at our home. I paused. I thought, I should probably go check that out, see what the results said. So I went back into the house, logged into the EHR, and the first thing that pops up after I log in was a message. The message said, your bill is due. I'm not kidding. I needed to pay my patient out-of-pocket costs for the biopsy and the lab tests. Can you believe it? Well, I paid. And then I read the results. Adenocarcinoma of the prostate. I thought, surely my doc's going to call me. They got the message. He didn't call. In fact, for 5 days, I didn't hear. That felt like an eternity. No contact from my healthcare provider. Only the EHR system, which kindly sent me another message saying, "Thank you for paying your bill." I replayed that lab test result over and over in my mind. Adenocarcinoma of the prostate. And because they took 12 core biopsies, I got to read that diagnosis 12 times, one for each of the biopsy. Needless to say, not a very good birthday. When my doctor finally reached me on the following Tuesday, he was very kind, very empathetic, and he apologized for how long it took to reach out. He also told me that federal law requires that lab results be released to patients immediately once they are available. No coordination with the doctor, no coordination with the healthcare system, and he said, "I wish that could be fixed." Now, I'm in Seattle, the home of Microsoft. I'm sure they could figure out a way to fix that, but they haven't yet. You'll all experience this at some point. My full journey, including surgery through the healthcare system during the fall of 2021, which was right at the height of the Delta variant wave, is a story for a different time. I'm lucky. I knew how to navigate the system, where to push, how to be persistent, but most of us, including many of you in this room this afternoon, do not. Most have very little experience being a patient, and that means all of you have very little experience being a patient. Now, some of you do, but most don't. And the people you're going to meet over the next 4 years, your patients, they'll be trying to do what I did, but they'll experience it in a very different way and with a lot more frustration because they aren't trained. What did I learn from this experience as a patient, as a scientist, and as a healthcare provider that might be helpful to you? Well, I learned many, many things during that time. The health professionals with whom I interacted were technical experts, and I wouldn't have wanted it any differently. The surgeon was skilled. The anesthetist, I got to pick because they were my former students. The nurses, the pharmacists were fantastic. The technical expertise was necessary, but it wasn't sufficient. Let me explain that. The nurses and pharmacists who took care of me while I was in the cancer ward were absolutely amazing. Not a shred of selfishness in how they treated me or the other patients on the ward. I watched them. I listened to how they spoke to their patients and how they spoke to the patient's family. And the key variable in that conversation that I heard over and over again was empathy and kindness. They were the most important part of what they did. Not the technical skills, but empathy and kindness. And you know, expressing kindness and empathy can be really hard. It's not necessarily our emotional default. And in today's world where there's constant exposure to ever louder voices demanding our attention, we're challenged to be kind and empathetic to each other, to our colleagues, to friends, to family, and most importantly, to our patients. Technical expertise is necessary. This faculty is going to deliver that to you all in spades. But it was the kindness and the empathy that helped me get through this experience and reminded me why I chose this profession. So 2 lessons. 1, what we say and how we say it as healthcare professionals matters. Regular people who are faced with sometimes daunting health challenges cannot understand or process the complex medical and scientific information that we provide to them, particularly at the rate that we dispense it. Let me just say that one more time. Most humans facing the daunting health challenges that they'll face can't understand or process information, medical and scientific, in the same way that we can, and at the rate that we dispense it to them. For me, fortunately, and because of my training as a pharmacist, I could listen carefully, and I felt comfortable asking my providers, slow down, Explain that to me again. Let me ask you this question, but most patients don't feel empowered or capable of understanding our complex language, and they certainly can feel intimidated by the white coats that you all are going to receive today. So a focus on empathy, kindness, and clarity is an opportunity for us to do better. You'll soon, very soon, start seeing patients, real ones, breathing ones, I hope. Not cadavers, not simulated avatars, but real patients in real clinical settings. And their health and their well-being depends on judgments and decisions that you will make. You will be assuming a very high level of responsibility for their health in the coming years, interacting with the patients, but also with their families. And by the way, it's one of the most rewarding and at times terrifying aspects of your training. Practicing compassion and empathy and learning to talk to patients and their families in a manner that they can understand and with a pace and a clarity that suits them will help them reach their health goals, and it will help you be a successful provider. The patient who, like me, received unexpected news through an impersonal computer interface, by the way, and with little understanding of the consequences or the tools to navigate their own health journey will need your help. Help them. As Dean Barker said, develop a heart to help. Student pharmacists, I wish you great success at discovering your passion in our field and finding solutions to all the problems in our healthcare system. And I'm confident that when you finish, you will be successful because you graduate from this great university, Purdue University. I challenge you to go beyond acquiring technical skills. Sufficient, necessary, but go beyond that and learn to practice empathy, kindness, and clarity. It takes extra effort, but from my personal experience, it pays off. Congratulations, and welcome to the profession of pharmacy.
Thank you, Dr. Sean Sullivan. Are we ready for this? All right, here we go. So before we begin meeting our students, I'm going to ask that our college faculty form lines on the stage. And students, if you will please line up to my right below the stage. All right, I think we are ready to begin. So students, I'm going to ask that you come to the stage, you speak your name slowly and clearly, and then you move to the farthest line, and the faculty will help you put your coat on. Here we go.
Seth Allison.
Lillian Anderson.
Matthew Anderson.
Maria Ansari.
Karthik Arcot.
Isha Bahia.
Jameson Barger. Tyler Barrett.
Margaret Baraboo.
Kyle Bastian.
Merrick Bayless.
Raleigh Benson.
Amelia Barini.
Dylan Burgum.
Aaliyah Bonilla. Alexis Brown. Sarah Campbell. Mary Kate Carey.
Ross Cassidy.
Ashley Castro. Shannon Ketcher. Maury Chim. Esther Chung. Olivia Click. Michaela Coburn. Anna Kaufman. Peyton Collier. Cathedra Sani.
Logan Cully.
Abigail Curl. Ashlyn Day. Madison Decker. Azaria Denton. Amelia DeSanto. Maya Dressler. Piper Feast. Evelyn Fang. Alexis Farringle. Tobiah Foster. April Joan Frias. Alexandria Gantz.
Tom Geltmeyer.
Dayanara Gonzalez. Margaret Gooden. Kelsey Goodwin. Natalie Gordon. Caroline Haas. Chloe Hackelman. Molly Haydenfeld. Abigail Holler. Mara Hallman. Megan Hardebeck.
Tyler Harker.
Hope Harlow. Reagan Hart.
Adler Hazlett.
Cora Houston.
Josh Henshin.
Morgan Henson. Bridget Hilgendorf.
Dylan Hohenbrink.
Hannah Horstman. Deirdre Hostetler.
Spencer Howard.
Sean Hudson.
Jinho Huang.
Uri Huang.
Charles Improda.
Isaac Jamron.
Alyssa Gines.
Jason Jones.
Kathleen Kazmarek.
Xander Kaufman.
Vincent Kniska.
Natalie Kulach. Bailey Lease. Jasmine Lee. Sophia Lee. Amy Lee. Kathleen Lee. Jama Link. Nicole Liu. Emma Mackey. Allison Maskew. Olivia McGarry. Estefania Medina. Emily Mesberg. Paige Moser. Catherine Molinex. Snowia Multani. Delia Myers.
Christopher Nguyen.
Nick Jaguna.
Nick Noga.
Jordan Ogigo. Noor Owaney. Anna Pack.
Raymond Pan.
Neil Patel.
Angela Pekoski. Caitlin Pepples. Madeline Pierce. Madison Price. Micah Quinn.
Deepa Narwal. Ashton Rockerbrand.
Tessa Roland. Emma Ross. Margaret Rossi.
Grant Rua.
Vera Schaefer.
David Schneidwin.
Sarah Shy. Elizabeth Schisler.
Daniel Sabincic.
Gabriella Sicoli.
Cameron Slinsky.
Samuel Smith.
Sydney Smith. Oakley Smith. Avery Snyder. Elizabeth Solis Vargas. Ritu Shriram. Grace Stess. Grace Storm. Libby Stewart. Mernessa Suleimanovich. Caitlin Sunday. Sophie Swanson. Courtney Tagawa.
Nikolai Tierman.
Rowan Tinker. Courtney Tolan. Ryan Van Giesen. Sarah Vangeli. Brooke Waddle. Annika Ward. Saki Washist.
Dylan Wasson.
Margaret Whitmer. Jordan Willett.
Evan Wilson.
Emily Yang. Emma Yeri. Sora Young.
Henry Yoakum.
Oliver Young.
Chu Zhang. Jessica Joe.
A huge congratulations to each and every one of you. The white coat ceremony is a rite of passage for healthcare professionals. The coat represents the first step toward building a professional identity and symbolizes willingness to fulfill the obligations of our profession. The names of our first professional year students are listed in the program today. The oath of a pharmacist symbolizes the commitment that pharmacists make to serve their patients. A trusting relationship between a pharmacist and their patients is central to this commitment. You will find the oath in your program. I now ask that each of our first professional year students rise and recite the oath with me. I also want to invite all pharmacists in the audience to stand and join in reciting the oath. I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will promote inclusion, embrace diversity, and advocate for justice to advance health equity. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the responsibility to improve my professional knowledge, expertise, and self-awareness. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. Again, I want to thank everyone who came out to support our students today. I look forward to your students' success and your participation in their graduation in 2028. I have one final announcement before we conclude our formal program. We would like to take a picture of the entire class and have copies made for each student. So students, if you will rise but wait to be escorted back onto the stage, friends and family can stay to watch the photo session, or you can proceed on to the reception in the Purdue Memorial Union South Ballroom, where students will join us shortly. I'll see you there.
Faculty, if you would, grab a chair or two and get them off into the wings, either way is fine. I'll just